Iconic German luxury car manufacturing brand BMW has definitely been paying attention to Tesla over the years. And although for the most part BMW has been publicly dismissive of Tesla, I believe that even back in 2009 when Tesla unveiled the first Model S prototype, BMW began to realize what Tesla's success could mean to their business. Now, I'm not saying that BMW was afraid of Tesla back in 2009. But now with Tesla's new Gigafactory producing Model Ys in Germany, and with a massive success that Tesla has seen, I believe in private BMW does fear Tesla, even though publicly they're dismissive of Tesla. And I want to show you the reasons why. I'm John, and welcome to Cleanerwatt. BMW's current CEO has been very dismissive of Tesla over the recent past. For instance, in this February 23, 2021 article from Business Insider, BMW's CEO was quoted as saying, "It won't be easy for Tesla to continue at that speed because the rest of the industry is moving ahead big time." Also, in this November 10th, 2021 Bloomberg article, the BMW CEO was quoted as saying, "Tesla isn't quite part of the premium segment. And also, they're growing very strongly via price reductions. We wouldn't do that since you've got to last the distance." Also, the BMW CEO has been very publicly dismissive of phasing out internal combustion engines, as was reported by this Teslarati article from February of this year. So as you can see from these comments, not only does the BMW CEO think that internal combustion engines should stick around for a while, but he also is dismissing Tesla as competition by saying, for instance, that they're not in the luxury segment and that what they're doing right now is not going to last for the long haul. However, despite what the BMW CEO says publicly, I believe internally he, and really probably the rest of the BMW's leadership, they fear Tesla and they realize that Tesla is a threat to their future success. In addition, as I mentioned earlier, I believe BMW has been paying attention to Tesla for quite some time. Back in 2009, Silicon Valley EV startup Tesla first unveiled the revolutionary alpha prototype of the Model S. This apparently caught BMW's attention because 2 years later, BMW unveiled the i3 prototype at the 2011 International Motor Show in Germany. I believe this is a good indication that BMW was paying attention to Tesla and that the i3 would not have existed were it not for the Tesla Model S. In 2012, Tesla finally started delivering the revolutionary Model S. Then in late 2013, BMW started delivering the i3 as a 2014 model year, just as sales and production numbers for the Model S were starting to ramp up. Here's a chart I put together comparing the Model S's sales over the years to the BMW i3 sales. And as you can see, although BMW has actually sold quite a few of the i3s over the years, even the much more expensive Tesla Model S has outsold the i3 quite a bit over the years. When you go back to this period between 2009 and 2014, because of BMW's sheer size and resources, they should have been able to bring out an electric vehicle that crushed the Model S because of their engineering expertise and their design expertise. However, when you do a side-by-side comparison of the i3 even versus the old Tesla Model S, it's clear to see why the Model S has outsold the i3 over the years. The fully electric, non-range extender equipped 2014 BMW i3 only offered 81 miles of EPA-rated range, as compared to the up to 265 miles of EPA-rated range offered by the Model S in 2014. And even in 2014 and 2015, the Model S was clearly a far more practical electric vehicle that could go on somewhat long road trips, especially as Tesla started ramping up their supercharger locations. As you can see here, between January of 2014 and January of 2015, during that period of time, they went from 72 supercharger locations to 332 supercharger locations. Although the BMW i3 was a great in-town car with its 80-some miles of EPA-rated range, it couldn't truly replace a gas-burning vehicle like the Model S. In addition, the Tesla Model S is a larger vehicle and thus offers more passenger room. Really, the main thing that the BMW i3 had over the Tesla Model S during this period of time in 2014 was its price. It had a much lower price than the Model S, so it was a more affordable EV, but not nearly as good of an EV as the Model S, clearly. However, if you fast forward to 2017, this competition between BMW and Tesla gets really interesting because that's the year, 2017, when Tesla started selling the Model 3, their much more affordable sedan. The 2017 Model 3 not only had a very similar price to the 2017 BMW i3, but it offered almost 3 times the amount of EPA rated range. Even if you opted for the i3 equipped with a range extender, which used a small gasoline engine to add a bit of extra charge to the batteries, even that version in 2017 only offered around 180 miles of range when you include the gasoline engine producing range plus the battery. We don't even need to dive into some of the other comparisons for the Model 3 versus the i3 because it's clear to see that even just at this basic level, the Tesla Model 3 is a much better vehicle, and it's obvious to see why the Tesla Model 3 has well outsold the BMW i3 over the years. Only now, around 10 years later, does BMW offer electric vehicles that are actually somewhat comparable to Tesla, with the all-electric BMW i4 and the all-electric BMW iX. I'm not going to do an in-depth side-by-side comparison between the i4 and the Model 3 or the iX versus the Model Y or the Model X, but I do want to briefly cover some of the highlights. As you can see, the long-range all-wheel drive Tesla Model 3 offers more range than the BMW i4 eDrive 40, and the performance Tesla Model 3 offers more range than the performance M50 i4. Also, when you compare the Tesla Model Y or the Tesla Model X to the BMW iX, both of Tesla's vehicles offer a little bit more range than the BMW iX. I've also taken some screenshots from the 2022 Cleanerwatt Electric SUV Buyer's Guide, and as you can see here, the BMW iX price point is actually somewhere between the Model Y and the Model X, much closer to the Model X in its price range. Also, here are a few comparison charts so you can see how these vehicles rank between other electric SUVs. This is taken from the 2022 Cleanerwatt Electric SUV Buyer's Guide, and when it comes to range, the Model X is at the top of the list, the Model Y is second, and the BMW iX is number 3, so a very respectable spot. When it comes to cargo room, once again, although the BMW iX is near the top of the list again, the Model X beats it out. When it comes to performance, the Tesla Model X beats out the iX, and when it comes to charging speed, the Model Y and the Model X also beat out the iX once again. Nevertheless, the BMW i4 and the BMW iX are seriously good electric vehicles, but BMW needs to focus more attention on electric vehicles because this battle goes way beyond just Tesla versus BMW when it comes to electric vehicles, but Tesla versus BMW when it comes to all vehicles. For instance, for the full year 2021, in the United States, Tesla had just a bit over 2% of the market when it comes to the total of all vehicles sold. BMW's market share was just a little bit above that at 2.48%. In addition, while Tesla's sales may have just been around 1% of BMW sales in 2014, Tesla is quickly catching up with BMW, and as you can see in this chart, in 2021, Tesla's sales made up around 37% of BMW's total sales for that year. And with demand continuing to be strong for the Model 3 and the Model Y, and with Tesla's huge plans to reach possibly 20 million vehicles being sold per year before 2030, if Tesla is able to keep up a 50% growth rate, they could surpass BMW's sales as early as 2024. One of the things that Herbert Diess, VW CEO, has pointed out about Tesla is that they have a manufacturing advantage over other auto manufacturers, especially when it comes down to electric vehicles. This is even more apparent with Tesla's new gigafactories, like the new gigafactory they just opened up in Germany, right there in BMW's home turf, and of course Tesla's new gigafactory in Texas as well. Tesla also has a gigafactory in Shanghai, China, which is expanding, and the Fremont factory is producing at all-time high rates. One of Tesla's biggest manufacturing advantages, and one of the reasons why these new factories are going to be so much more efficient than other auto manufacturers, comes down partly due to the big mega casts, where the under parts of the bodies of these vehicles are cast into single pieces instead of hundreds of pieces like before. In fact, as reported by this Teslarati article, Volvo has talked about having Tesla-style megacasts for their next generation of electric vehicles. And Volkswagen is looking at doing the same thing for their new Trinity EV plant, which should be operational in 2026. So while Volvo and VW see the genius in Tesla's plan, BMW's CEO thinks that these castings are a bad idea. In a November 2021 Auto Evolution article, the BMW CEO was quoted as saying there is no economic reason to have very large integrated parts in these vehicles. And also, partially lower manufacturing cost is overcompensated by casting cost. He also mentioned we see much more efficient ways to build a car body. At one level, he is right about the fact when he said partially lower manufacturing cost is overcompensated by a casting cost, because designing these big mega casts is very expensive, and this also means that BMW does not plan to make enough electric vehicles to pay back the cost of a mega cast, whereas Tesla can justify the cost because they hope to produce millions and millions of these electric vehicles over the years, so the cost of designing these megacasts will be paid for very quickly for Tesla, whereas for BMW, maybe it wouldn't be paid back so quickly. In addition, if you're going to build an electric vehicle, you have to have enough batteries to do so, and Tesla has secured a much better position when it comes to battery supply than BMW. Tesla is producing in-house 4680 batteries at their Fremont pilot facility and also soon at several other gigafactories. They also have Gigafactory Nevada pumping out 2170 battery cells. They buy cells directly from Panasonic and also CATL and LG Chem. In addition, in the midst of material shortages and price hikes, Tesla has been way ahead of other auto manufacturers in securing raw material contracts. For instance, this March 31st, 2022 article from Inside EVs quotes Todd Milan from Talon Metals as saying, "People don't realize how far ahead Tesla is when it comes to securing the supply chain for raw materials and an integrated approach to battery materials." When it comes to BMW, as far as I can tell, they don't plan to make their own batteries, but they do have contracts with, for instance, CATL, Samsung SDI, and Northvolt. They also have some investments in the solid-state battery company Solid Power. However, in the end, Tesla is going to have a huge advantage over every other auto manufacturer when it comes to battery supply and raw material supply, based on what I can tell. So even though BMW has designed two very compelling electric vehicles which should sell really well, BMW doesn't appear to have the manufacturing capacity when it comes to electric vehicles or the battery supply plans that Tesla has. And since they're not all in on EVs and still see a future for the combustion engine, I believe this will limit their success with electric vehicles. In addition, as the market shifts away from internal combustion engine vehicles and even plug-in hybrids, which BMW sells quite a few of, their internal combustion engine business could diminish substantially over the coming years. In addition, even if they are able to maintain somewhere around 2.5 million vehicles being sold per year like they currently average, now that Tesla is producing vehicles on BMW's home turf, and with Gigafactory Texas coming online soon and Gigafactory Shanghai expanding, Tesla will be able to fill more and more of the demand that they currently have worldwide. And it seems likely that Tesla will soon surpass BMW not only in US market share, but global market share and global sales in really not too much time. As a reminder, the 2022 Electric SUV Buyer's Guide is available. I showed a few screenshots of that earlier when I talked about some comparisons between the Model Y, the Model X, and the BMW iX. But you can purchase a copy, a full copy, a digital download copy of this Buyer's Guide at Cleanerwatt.com, and it compares 29 or so electric SUVs that are either available right now or will be available in the somewhat near future. It has over 60 pages of content, several articles, and helpful comparison charts as well. You can find out more and purchase a digital downloadable copy at Cleanerwatt.com. unveiledpodcast.com. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I'd like to take a moment to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community I've set up, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much.